Hey, what is up, everyone? This is me, the person behind the camera for most of the videos that you see. So, welcome to another video. So, without further ado, let's get on with the Q&A session with a bunch of questions that a lot of you guys have been asking me around on the comment section. So, let's see. The first question is from Marge Beard. I would say it's Ma Beard. The J would be silent. Correct me if I'm wrong. So my question is about your run with the Hottentotta. Could you please share a little about the effects of the sting and how long it lasted? Alright, so to answer the question, this little bastard is the one that tagged me. This is the Hottentotta Soleil. So long story short, I wanted to clean out its enclosure. I wanted to refill its water dish. So what happened was I just put my hand in. Initially he was on top of that piece of bark at the top. But then I don't know what made him bolt. He ended up just bolting down and then started grabbing my hand and just started stinging. So it was kind of an interesting situation, but once I got stung, it took about 5 minutes for the venom to take effect on the thumb. I know I was stung at the thumb area. And then it traveled down, within the first 15 minutes, it traveled down to the whole of my forearm. So I felt like my entire forearm was on fire. It felt like I was being skewered right through with hot metal skewers. It was really painful. And then after an hour, it traveled up to my shoulder, almost to my neck region. And the muscle cramps was really a thing. Reminds me of my run with Poecilotheria tarantulas back in the days when I used to keep tarantulas. But yeah, so it only lasted me about 6 hours. It was 6 hours of unease, and then after that, it kind of dissipated and it went off completely by the next day. No effects, no side effects whatsoever. Went to check with the clinic. So far, everything seems well. The second question from Marshbeard is, was it the first time I got tagged? Nope. I got tagged previously back when I was keeping tarantulas by a bunch of Poecilotherias, and also the first time I got tagged was when I went hiking in jungle. I remember now. I was a little kid. I was a former arachnophobe. So I had a massive fear of spiders initially. We went hiking up a jungle mountain and it was beautiful. I loved that place. And what happened was, it was already getting slightly dark. We were about to set up camp, so I was trying to reach out for a tree. Like, it wasn't a big tree. It was still like a small little tree. Its stem. So I was just about to like fully grasp on it, and I felt like something biting me. It was like a sudden pain, so I just flicked my hand away, and I saw two entry points for, you guessed it, it is a tarantula, and it was blue in color. So what I did was, I ended up having to go to hospital that time because they weren't sure whether it was venomous or not. But after further research, and after I started keeping invertebrates as pets, which was after I overcome my fear of arachnophobia, it was a species Saba Blue that actually tagged me that time. So that was the first time I got tagged. It was all the way back when I was 10 years old. So the next question is, I am also curious, how long have you been keeping inverts? It's quite a while. I would estimate around 10 plus years already. I started keeping when I was 11. Like after the bite incident, when I was 10, after the bite incident, I really got into invertebrates, especially tarantulas that time. And kind of started when I was 11. So yeah, I think it's about 13 years, I think. What was my first specimen that I kept? In conjunction to that, after I got tagged and when I started the process of keeping invertebrates, I would say I started with C. obscura tarantula, which was a very, very common local species from the jungle where I live in, or where I originally lived in. I've transferred out already. So it's the C. obscura tarantula. Kind of an interesting species, dwarf, but feisty, real feisty. Alright, so the next question is from Danox. So his question is, what is my favorite scorpion? What is my favorite scorpion? That's actually a very interesting question. If it's within my collection, my favorite scorpion of all time, it would undoubtedly be the Androcnus crassicauda. Hands down, my personal favorite, always has been, always will be, the Androcnus crassicauda. Love these guys for its jet black coloration, and especially that amazing look, the fact that it looks like an armored scorpion, the tankiness of its tail, it's just so amazing. I love that shape. I love the shape of it. I love the patterns that's on it. And in my full honesty, I love the Androcnus genus in general, but the crassicauda takes the top when it comes to favorite species within the Androcnus genus. And yeah, the Androcnus genus, the Androcnus crassicauda, is one of my personal favorites. The next question is, any species that you don't have, but you hope to get someday? Yes, actually, I am intending to actually grab a couple of scorpions that it's up for sale in Scorpio Hunter, if I'm not mistaken. His stupid thing. Well, in terms of any species that I don't have yet, but I would like to get someday, there are a bunch of them actually, a real big amount of them. One of them is probably the Scorpio marus. That is one of my go-to right now. That's one of my aims. The yellow large claw is a Scorpio something else. I'm not sure what it was, but I know it starts with M as well. But marus is one of the go-tos right now. Well, I can probably list down at the side of the screen here what my dream scorpions are, so that it's easier for everyone to know. So the next question is from Exotics ID. Can we buy scorpions from other countries using the Shopee app? No! It doesn't work that way, bro. Just because you use Shopee app from your country, it's only applicable to your country. Don't bother trying to buy from other countries. It doesn't work that way. Don't. Don't. UFLix. Where am I from? Where am I from? I wonder. Somewhere over in Southeast Asia. God damn it. I am in a country that is located in the Southeast Asia region, so that's as much of a hint that you'll get for now. Soon, eventually, you guys will know, but as for now, let's keep it a secret. Right up next, we have iDoms. What is my favorite tarantula genus and species? I kind of retired from the tarantula scene because, well, where I'm from, we have a bunch of idiots here that just destroy the tarantula market. I bounced from tarantulas for quite a while already, but if I were to choose, my most favorite genus would be the Formictopus and the Pamphobetius genus. But I'm not sure. There's so many Formictopus species, even though it's messed up in terms of the catalog itself. It's kind of messed up, but I can't specifically pick what species because they're all beautiful, in full honesty. Especially Pamphos. Pamphos go a long way when it comes to beauty. If I were to really choose, I would say the Pamphobetius side, I would go for the Platyoma. either the Platyoma or Ultramarinus. These two. These two are like one of my favorites, like real favorites to look at. And then for Myctopus, I would just say species green. I know it's very common around, but species green is actually kind of an interesting species because there's so many different color variations inside the species green itself. It's not exactly like pinpoint the species green, no. It's like a real, even though it's messed up, it's actually kind of nice to keep as well. And then for Myctopus species, I think the purple is also one of the ways to go if you want a really like decently sized purple spider. And then aside from that, yeah, that's about it, I guess, for the Formics as well as Pamphobeteus. So the next question, I think this will be the last question, which is from Francis. Usually people would ask, what tarantula would you recommend to people? Well, I want to ask what tarantulas you would not recommend to keepers. Well, it really depends on which stage of a keeper you are. For example, if you're a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced keeper already. Well, of course, the most obvious is if you're a beginner, you can't just straight off start with a Terrafossa or with Saladonia. You can't start off with something which does have specific husbandry requirements. So I would personally advise people who do approach me and ask about tarantula husbandry. I would personally advise, if they are beginners, don't straight away jump into the bandwagon of having some expensive species and then they end up dying and then they start crying they lost their money because of that. It's because you're not ready for it. You're not transitioning yourself in between from the beginners to the intermediates to the advanced. You're just jumping straight to the advanced. That's not that's not the right way to do things, honestly. But yeah, as a beginner, we are segueing all the way to the another side. So let's get back on topic. So what I would not recommend for beginner species are species that are a bit more on the bolty, defensive, as well as on like the higher demands in terms of husbandry. That will include the Chilobrachys species, any Chilobrachys, Haplopelma, Serapagopus, Terrafossa, because, well, husbandry is a pain sometimes. Like, I made that mistake. I made that very expensive mistake. From me, myself, I admit. I thought that I was some hot shit when I started keeping tarantulas, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna straight get a Terrafossa. Ended up getting a Sturmy, and it died within the first 2 molts because I was not very aware of how to do its husbandry, and also the requirements were like rather specific. So with that, I learned my lesson and I started evolving and, slowly edging my way up into the ladder of keeping tarantulas, and then I still sold them all off, and I'm now diverging into the world of scorpions. So yeah, I guess with that, it concludes this entire Q&A session. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you everyone for submitting your questions for this Q&A session. It's been a great journey, and once again, thank you all for helping me achieve this 500 subscriber goal. We have we have surpassed 500. We are now at 617 or 18 if I'm not mistaken, but damn, is it a journey. And I'm looking forward for a lot more videos with every one of you, and I hope to be able to pump out more videos for you guys. And fingers crossed it will all go well, because I have a few things that I have to handle first under the personal life circumstances. So I hope you guys bear with some of my long hiatus sessions. So with that, hopefully, you guys are understandable on that, because, things happen. I have a life. I can't always be on YouTube every time, can I? So yeah. Woo! Almost dropped the mic. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching, and once again, thank you all for helping me reach the subscriber goal for this year. So let's try and push even further. Next up, 1,000 subscribers. Let's go. Let's get it done, guys. And I will assure you guys that I will do my best to upload as much as I can for your entertainment. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Inverts Paradise, out!